Is that time of the day again? Hey, welcome to the Build Show, Michael. Ah, there she is. In many different pieces to be assembled. Some assembly required. There she is. Yeah, the graphics card box wasn't going to fit on the table with all the big parts, so that had to go, unfortunately. But I kept all the wraps on there so we can do all the peels together. But there's our RTX 4080 Super that we had to scramble for, which now are suddenly, briefly available at the moment. It seems like everybody stopped freaking out about the 4080 Supers. I do not get why that happens. Hey, what's up, chat nerds? Welcome back to the Build Show. Robert Fixit, welcome in. Welcome back to the Build Show. Burgers Shoe 42. Finally gonna catch one of these live. Yes, you are. My name is Ben Astrino over here at the Empower Gaming Studio. Obviously, I build computers. I build a lot of them. And tonight, you guessed it, we're gonna build another PC. But not just any PC. We're building number 9 for 2025, which is gonna be for Michael. And Noah, thank you for the like over there on Facebook. I appreciate you, sir. So, number 9 for the year is Michael's build. Let's go ahead and run through the build out, and then we'll get started here. I wanted to get started on these a little earlier, and I keep finding a way to start it like after 9 o'clock, so I apologize. But my goal is to eventually have these starting earlier in the evenings rather than this late, because, well, obviously people don't want to stay up this late, but it's just been working out that way. Today, had another PC on the bench that I was working on and kind of soaked up a bunch of time again, and then I had to get the other two that we built last finished up so that they could be ready for pickup, and that was Kim's build that we did last night, and I finished up Matt's build, number 7. So 7 and 8 had to get packed up, and emails had to go out saying they're ready for pickup. Nice build, Michael. Yeah, it's a solid build here. You should see what case it's going into, chat nerds. You're probably going to nerd out from that too. Alright guys, let's go through it. So the Ryzen 7 9800X 3D. This is actually the first one that I'm going to be building with. This from the 9800X 3D from the 9000 series. I built with some 9000 CPUs already, just not the X3D 9800X 3D yet. So, one, they're magical unicorns that just show up in inventory and disappear faster than they show up. So they're very difficult to get. This is actually the CPU that made me late for one of our streams, or I didn't stream because I had to go get this and I got back so late. It was too late to stream, I think. But I had to go to Micro Center to go get this because it was in stock. It was either that or we were paying $200 more over the MSRP price, which was retarded, and I did not want to do that. So Micro Center was the only place that had it at MSRP or close to it, and it was suddenly in stock. So cool. So the 9800X3D is the CPU we're grabbing or putting in this build. We're going to do the Thermalright contact frame like normal for the AM5 socket, and then we also have Cryonaut Extreme that we're going to be putting on top of the CPU and cooling it with a Noctua NH-D15 Chromax Black. So you've seen me use these a few times now. These are really good coolers. I classify these as some of the best coolers, like the best of the best. So the fact that it's Noctua, the fact that it's not poop brown and it is actually black, it really has a plus. But other than that, I mean, it has a huge tower air cooler with 2 massive 140 millimeter fans on there. So it's just a massive cooler that can cool pretty much anything you throw at it. So I think this can even work with Threadripper chips too. So if I remember correctly. I believe it has the mounting for it as well. And if not, then they probably have a kit for it. All right, so that, moving on, we're going to be putting this on an Asus ROG Crosshair X870E. So this is going to be the first time I've actually built with this board as well. So we'll get a little bit of experience under our belt with this new board, although it's probably pretty much the same as any X670E boards that we've already built with. The only difference is this really has Wi-Fi 7 and I believe some PCIe 5.0 support on the board as well. So future-proofing the build, this board is definitely going to do it and gives Michael lots of options in the future to add more storage. And I think storage was going to be something that he's looking into because we have an 8 terabyte MP44 that we're going to be building with. And he plans on, I believe, adding more storage to the system later as well. So lots of storage planned for the system in the future. So we wanted to maximize the one slot we're using with the one SSD. So 8 terabytes is pretty much the max we can really get within a reasonable price, even though that was stupid expensive as it is. Anything right now is stupid expensive, so that's what I mean by that. And then the RAM. We're maxing out the DDR5 RAM at 96 gigabytes, which is 6400 CL32, I believe. Yes, CL32, and this is a Corsair Vengeance DDR5 kit. Hey, Coral Reef, welcome back to the build show. Yes, 8 terabyte is great. It's a lot of storage. A lot of storage. Thank you very much. Good evening, Geether. Noctua Black. I knew you'd nerd out from that one, but you're going to nerd out probably even more, Robert Fixit and Chat Nerds, when we start talking about the case. So just wait. It's coming. I think you know. Do you know what cases? Can anybody guess what cases is going into? I mean, we have the best cooler, the best motherboard, the best gaming CPU, and almost the best gaming graphics card available today. And a 1200 watt power supply. He is actually planning to probably pick up a 5090 when they come out. And I talked him into, instead of like trying to track down a 4090, just to go with like a 4080, and you'll be happy with that until the 5090's out, and then when they're available and not stupid expensive, we can easily upgrade them. But the 1200 watt power supply, 4080 Super, and this is the Asus Pro Art Edition, with an additional 140 millimeter Noctua fan that we're adding to the system. Anybody? Case? Everything is stupid expensive, yes. So Chat Nerd says O11XL. That is incorrect. I'm sorry. Can you guess again? Anybody? Can anybody guess? We're going air-cooled on this build. The best air-cooled case on the market, because we went with the best. The absolute best air-cooled case on the market today. Performance and looks. It's a pretty good looking case. Would be the Fractal Design Torrent, which is a massive air-cooled case. Has some massive fans. Power supply is top-mounted, but barely noticeable because it has its own chamber on the top and everything. But it is a massive, yes, the Fractal Torrent. It is one of the best air-cooled cases you can get. And it's designed for air cooling, so you can put radiators in it, but it's more of an air-cooled cooling case. So we'll be building into that case. I've done quite a few builds actually in those in the past, so I'm super excited to do another one, because each time I feel like I learned something new about the case that I thought I'd already known everything about the case. There's something I always learn, even the more and more I build with them. So, okay guys, let's get started with this build, so that Michael can plan to actually enjoy it before the weekend, maybe. So if we get this build done tonight, we could probably get it ready for pickup maybe late Friday night before the stream. All right, let's go ahead and open up our X870E, which is the ROG Corsair Hero. Hero? Does anybody need a hero? What's that song? Realize the music might be just a little loud. There's a little bit. Hey, Ant-Man, may you please start listing the PC specs on screen or in the description? Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I could do that. How do I do that? Without having to sit there and type them all out. That's a good idea, though. I can do that. Is that readable? I don't even know. Maybe if you have a big enough screen, it might be. But there's a lot there, spec-wise. Do you think that's readable, or what do you guys think? Yes, it is, Ben. Peak graphic design. I just used the text feature in Streamlabs and grabbed it from the invoice and just basically threw up all the words on the screen there. So there you go. You guys asked for it, we got it. Oh my gosh, this board is so heavy. This board weighs more than a case. So there. Now it's on the screen. I will probably eventually hide that because it'll be in the way. But as you guys are coming in, you can read the specs. All right. There is our ROG Strix Corsair Hero X670. I'm sorry, X870E. I'm so used to saying that. Perfect. Takes a lot to orchestrate this. Every time I start a new stream, I add, like, that's just going to add one more new thing I have to do if we're going to maintain that, is update the specs, which is fine. But it's just every time I add something new to the stream, it's something, because I don't have a system that's going to just automatically pull it for me. I have to do it myself, manually. Where did I put my... Oh, I left it over there. Damn it. Okay. Well, we're going to start by installing the 9800X 3D. And you can see Brett over at Micro Center helped me. I don't know if you read that label or not. That was the sales rep over there. He was actually the one that helped me get this. So I told him to tell me when they were in stock, and I'm like, I will drive there as soon as I know they're in stock. Cool dude. So if you are in Michigan and you go to Micro Center, make sure you go see Brett. And any other Micro Center dude there's pretty awesome. So we're just going to open this up. We're going to settle the CPU there into the socket nicely. And then we are going to replace this contact frame with a Thermalright AM5 contact frame. Really, all this is doing is making it cleaner. Once we put paste in there, the paste likes to like seep down to these weird edges on the CPU, and this kind of hugs around all those weird edges and keeps the paste on top of the CPU nice and clean, which is why I like to use them on AM5s. They really aren't necessary other than that. But that is their use case. For me, anyway. What's my other... Or we'll just remove that contact frame, and then we'll place this contact frame in its place, and we'll drop the new screws down into the holes, and then we'll thread it. Good. And then we'll put this back into the hardware package, because this will go with the PC, along with the Allen tool, or tool to remove this if he ever needs to. He'll have the tool to do that. I have my own special one. Alright, so next, Let's see here. Kind of like how Sketchy does. Or kind of like how Skytech does. I've actually never seen a Skytech build stream, so I'd have to go look. You can input your invoice SKU into the Streamlabs. Oh, you can? High-end build, nice. Yes, Jesse, we're doing a Ryzen 7 9800X 3D. Gosh damn it, I'm gonna mix these up for the rest of my life. Onra, welcome to the build show again, sir. Dark Hollow 1, welcome to the build show, sir. Yo, what a beautiful motherboard. I know, it's the ROG Corsair Hero. Crosshair Hero. Bleh. X870E. Alright, so 96 gigabytes of DDR5 6400 CL32. And you ask, why not 128? Well, DDR5 does not like 128. So 96 2 sticks is the way to work around that. And we didn't go with any fancy RGB RAM because we are putting this massive Noctua cooler on there. So no point in getting RGB RAM if it's just going to be covered up. God damn it. Don't ask me what happened. It's called Ben didn't eat yet. Alright, to go with the massive amount of RAM, we are going with a massive 8 terabyte SSD. Let's hope Ben doesn't drop it. Probably making Michael nervous now. Michael is getting a killer rig, I know. Looks like a car. Everybody always says that, you know, it looks more like a city. But yeah, it kind of does look like this one looks more like a car. Ant-Man, I saw on Reddit, this guy, 9700X3D was overheating after 1 week. He only had it, had a one fan air cooler. He thought it was the cause. Yeah, I mean, they can get hot. But definitely make sure you update your BIOS for any of the new CPUs, which we're going to be doing for Michael before it even leaves here. And I do have a guy I work with, does a lot of work with tuning PCs, and he usually makes recommendations on AMD BIOSes or versions that I should run. And I follow that. Oh, that is so slick. There's this little push button that releases that heat spreader, or the heatsink. It is super slick. A little bit awkward trying to put it back on the SSD though, but we got it. Gotta actually push it down and push the clip over the lip just to get it on there. So it's a good fit. Tight fit. I got a 4 terabyte for $199 on Black Friday. That's a pretty good deal for a 4 terabyte. That's like, 2 terabyte pricing. Yeah. Oh, I know. The screen. It's going to be kind of hidden away, but because this massive cooler is going to be there, and then we'll have a 140 millimeter here, so it'll be kind of hard to see it, but cooling takes precedence over the aesthetics for this build. That was Michael's preference, was the performance. But it is time. I also got some fingerprints on there already. It's time for the Noctua NH-D15 Chromax Black. Let's open this bad boy up and slap it on there. Let's see if this 9800 ever hits 50 degrees. This thing is massive. AMD parts. Yep. Weird that Michael didn't choose a 360 millimeter cooler. We wanted to go air on his build. It's for what he's doing with it, or planning to do with it, air just made more sense. And we went into the Fractal Torrent case, which is not really meant for liquid. It can be used for liquid, but the radiator positions are, I think, on the front and the bottom. The naming scheme is on purpose just to confuse us. What do you mean? He sold an arm for it? Yeah. I think I had to sell a couple of pieces of my body as well to make it happen. Okay. So, I'm going to pull up the instructions just because I don't want to accidentally put these brackets on the wrong way and then have to deal with it again. Also, a cool note, there is a offset option on this. I don't know if we'll be able to see it here on the camera or not, but you have a normal option and an offset option for these brackets. And I'm going with the offset option, and what that does is it centers up the cooler closer to the bottom of the CPU, which is the typical hotspot for AMD Ryzen 7000 and 9000 series. So it's going to center up the cooler on the hotspot, so it'll help dissipate the heat on the hotspot better. So the offset will help with that quite a bit. So next, we're going to use our Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut Extreme. Look at my nice thumbprint there. I'll clean it up, don't worry. I should have left that stupid plastic on there. God damn it. My long boy. little bit of Windex on a fiber cloth really helps with that. Nice, Michael. Amazing. Looks amazing. Looks like I missed a few chats here. Sorry. Does this paste work better with the Noctua NTH2? I don't know. It's just some of the best paste you could get, so we're going with the best of the best here, so we may as well go with the best paste. I don't know if it works better than the Noctua NTH2. In my opinion, it does in most use case scenarios. It does sound like a power delivery problem on the monitor. What's that? Holy smokes, I missed a lot of chats here. Ant-Man, I missed your chat, and it's already well past, I think, where we're at right now on my scroll. So I missed it, but I can see a lot of people giving you some advice here. Like now it's working fine. It will randomly do that. What, power off, I'm assuming? And I'm assuming it's a monitor. Maybe it's, do you have all your monitors and your computer all on the same power strip? Because if that's the case, then it could be the power strip just doesn't offer enough juice for everything. Maybe try putting the monitor or that monitor on a different power strip somewhere else. Had a Windows update today and had to restart my PC 2 times because the mouse drivers were screwed up. What mouse do you have, Deether? Adds character. Yeah, adds character. Venomous Toad, man, I missed a lot tonight. Why do I work? Well, I mean, I'm working right now. We're all working in some capacity. I'm sorry, man. Venomous Toad, welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Steven Anderson, welcome back to the Build Show. 96 gigs of RAM. Damn, you got to be streaming as well with this rig. I think he's just planning on doing a lot of stuff. He is targeting a 5090 as well. Yeah, eventually here. He does AI. Yep. I didn't want to like tell everybody what you do. I'll leave you to that. We were gonna go with a bigger CPU, but he says he's thinking about getting a different system that's more geared for AI later. So this is kind of be his duo system for a little while, and then eventually it sounds like will be only his gaming PC and maybe do a little bit of AI stuff on the side with it, but yeah, the VRAM's gonna help a lot when he gets the 5090. Yep. 32 gigs of VRAM. All right, here we go. Let's flip this thing around so we can get these cables. Like, I'm just gonna throw this out there, guys. This board with the cooler, the CPU, the contact frame, the RAM, and the SSD. This thing weighs at least a good 10 to 15 pounds. Easily. This thing weighs so much already, and it's not even in the case. The other thing I was thinking of is look at how difficult it's going to be to get my hands down here to get these EPS cables in. So I'm almost thinking I'm going to pull those EPS cables out of the box and pre-install them, and then push the cables through as we're putting the motherboard in, so I don't have to deal with that. I am dreading that right now looking at it. So let me do that. I'm going to pull the power supply out. We're going to get those EPS cables plugged in. Which, by the way, is a Thermaltake 1200 watt tough power 80 plus platinum by Thermaltake. So we went platinum. So we got some really good efficiency on this power supply, especially for those long power draws from the AI stuff that he's going to be doing. So it'll at least help a little bit with the electric bill. And if you do the math throughout the year, it'll help a lot. It'll pay for itself eventually there, probably within a year. I'm honestly just gonna zip tie these and tuck them under the cooler there. Where'd it go? My zip tie just went poof. There it is. All right, get these EPS cables and then we could get the case out. Aha. CPU. Motherboard weighing more than a cat? Yes. More than a fat cat. Not joking either. And there's our 2 EPS cables. All right, we are ready for the case. Let's set the graphics card over there so I can move this beast over here. And we'll get the case out. Some accessories. Took forever for this case to get here in the first place. There's a big old dent that I missed on the bottom of the box. Doesn't make me feel good. Hello. Oh. 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 Okay. Everything seems to be square, even with the big old dent in the box. Yes, owner, but it didn't really work out that way. 2 PCs every day in 2023, it didn't really work out like that. It was more like I'd go a week without a build, and all of a sudden I would have a whole bunch of builds I'd have to do all at once. So it was a little crazy. A little bit of a crazy time during that year. Okay, now that we've got the case opened up a little bit, we could probably lay it down and take a look here. What do you guys think? Ben, my 7900 XT does not bottleneck my 12900 KS and outperforms the 5800 X3D. That's pretty good. Yeah, so I wonder if it would be the same on the 12900K, because that's a great Micro Center bundle right now, the 12900K with a Z790 and 32 gigs of DDR5, 6000 CL36 rip jaws. It's like $400 at Micro Center. So if you could do that with a 7900 XT at like, say, $650, that's like a $1,000 killer system right there. Bass music. Hi. I see it. Did I get the request? Yes, I believe I sent you a response too. What is an AI-ready motherboard? I really don't know. I think it's marketing. To be honest with you, I don't know what the motherboard is doing specifically for AI, other than maybe delivering power to the CPU that's actually doing the AI. And maybe by AI, they're talking about they have AI software built in with the hardware to control the fans, but that's all stuff they've already had, you know? Or maybe it's AI controlling the tune. But this is stuff they've had since like the first generation i7. They've had AI software. So that's why I get so confused when people say, Ben, what does AI mean on a motherboard? Maybe somebody has a better explanation. Burned out Mugger. Hey, what's up, man? Welcome back to the Build Show. I don't need cheap viewers, though. Thank you. If the mod comes in here, he'll take care of that. Hit the hammer. Yes. Thank you, Odra. I guess I'll have to make you a mod. You can have the hammer power. Buzzwords. Yeah, I honestly think it's marketing. There's nothing new that I've noticed on these motherboards yet, and I didn't see really anything super spectacular out of CES when I've been watching, you know, tons of videos from CES. I didn't go, but nothing really yells at me saying that the motherboard is doing anything specific to AI or to improve AI. I don't understand it, so I don't have a good answer other than maybe it's software related. Maybe it's helping the VRMs deliver power to the CPU more efficiently. Maybe it's firmware built in that's using AI to adjust the VRMs. I don't know. But it's the new buzzword, and everybody's getting on the new buzzword bandwagon. So, AI. DLSS 3.0. DLSS 4.0 AI. You can AI your frames? Bruh. Do you have AI controlling your FPS? It's just the new buzzword. Even though it's not a new buzzword, it's an old buzzword, especially in like any type of overclocking or tuning or anything like that. That's for the motherboard. Now, when it actually comes to the AI stuff, for example, what Michael is doing with his PC, he could probably talk way more on this than me. He could probably go into way more detail of what he's doing with the PC when it comes to AI. For the motherboard, AI marketing on nonsense, yes. For the CPU, the brain, the actual brain that's doing the work, or the GPU, that's where your AI power is actually coming from. And maybe the RAM and maybe the storage as well. That's where AI really makes a difference. The motherboard connecting everything, I mean, I don't understand what the AI specialty is for that. But this motherboard is supposed to be AI ready as well, so throwing that out there. All marketing nonsense for motherboards, yes. I paid $863 after tax for my Asus TUF Gaming 7900 XT. I actually just saw one at Micro Center. It was the ASRock 7900 XT. It was $612. I should have grabbed it. Maybe I should add AI ready. But that's the thing. I hate these marketing bandwagons. Like, I say best gaming PCs in the state of Michigan. That is true. I build the best gaming PC in the state of Michigan that you can buy. And it's custom. That is my slogan. Best gaming PC in the state. So, and there's nobody else here in the state that I've met that does it bigger, better, and more than me, other than Micro Center. But that's a big box store. I'm not a big box store. I'm more of the, let's build you a computer, you know, let's build it. I'm not gonna cookie cutter my builds and flip them. Pretty much everything that goes through here gets customized in some way. But yes, adding AI, or maybe I add an AI lineup. I did want to actually add a workstation lineup for like Threadrippers and stuff, like a professional workstation lineup on my website. That would be pretty cool, because I've gotten a lot of requests for Threadripper builds, and then when I hand them the quote, they're like sticker shocked, like, ah! Like, yeah, the CPU, the smallest Threadripper available, like latest gen, is like $2,000. Just the CPU. The motherboard is $1,000. The RAM, because they're always like, I want 256 gigabytes of RAM, and you know the RAM is like another $1,500 for, you know, fast 256 gig for Threadripper. And then the coolers aren't cheap for Threadrippers. They're super expensive, and they're special fit. He'll be in an augmented reality, yeah. Alright, let's get back to building. Enough ranting about that. Add dark web and ominous PC to the lineup. No, that's NZXT's gig. They like to keep your information when you send their PCs back to them, and then they have the right to use your information on the PC however they see fit, as well as any information you provide to them in any form or text on website or email. Did you know that? Which NZXT actually disclosed what credit card Steve over at Gamers Nexus used, which was an American Express, by the way, to make their purchase. On camera. And he couldn't get in trouble because, well, they signed an agreement. But that's NZXT's gig. The dark web. I don't know why I'm undoing that. That's stupid. Deal with that in a minute. Okay, so we've got this opened up. We've got a motherboard sitting here. We're gonna try to push our EPS cables through here as we drop this massive beast into the... Ugh. I almost wonder if I should get this rear case fan installed real quick. Probably should. It would probably be on the smart things to do. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, they're tricky little guys. But yeah, I mean, I don't like companies that go around saying that, for example, Main Gear, they like to use the slogan, unlimited power or unlimited performance. That's so fake. There's limited performance in the system. Even if you upgraded it, there's still a limit. I don't like lying about my systems. So I don't like using fake terms. I do not drive very well. I've always been known as being honest, and I want to keep that for as long as I can. Son of a bitch. Don't bother you. And you drop all your screws. Honest Ben has a nice ring to it. Sometimes too honest. I'm a terrible salesman. I'm definitely not the type that can sell a ice cube to an igloo, or an ice cube to a Eskimo. I'm not that type. I'm not good at that. Okay, so we got that rear fan installed as well. I just didn't want to have to deal with that after we get this massive beast in here. We go. And we just have to pull those tight after we get it in there. Look at that. If you think ahead, unlike many other times that I built, you could make it a pleasure building. For example, putting those EPS cables on, putting the fan in, then putting the board in. So much easier. So much easier than having to fight with it. Work smarter, not harder. I used to watch Main Gear. Oh, do they do build streams as well? I didn't even know. But some of their marketing stuff is just irritates me. I see them on Facebook all the time. There's this really, I think it's Main Gear. Yeah, it's Main Gear. They have this chick walking around talking about how she's a streamer and he wants to have, you know, some of the best performance there is, and talks about this system that has an A520, I'm sorry, not an A520, A610 or A620 motherboard in the system, and talking about that being the best system, where it only has 2 memory slots. It's like, it's a micro ATX board in a full ATX case. I mean, if Main Gear was making a commercial, why would they choose that system? It drives me nuts. I actually don't know what screws to use here in this particular case. Can't remember. I think it's these ones. Definitely not these ones. I knew that. Oh, and then she's talking about the streaming on a 7600 with a 4060 or something like that. Sure, you could do it, but much better to do it on an 8-core. Yeah, they do build streams? Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I feel like everybody's starting to do that now. That's like the new thing. I've been doing it for a long time. Riddle me this. Why would a fractal torrent have the stud here, but the other two is here and here? What the fuck? Didn't think so. Ah! Oh, that was so frustrating. This is very frustrating. Ooh. Let's see here. My dad always had me look in his eyes and says, "Tell me the truth." I could not lie to him. Yeah, pretty much the same here. I grew up an honest guy. In an honest family. Okay, now that we finally got all the screws in, simple task. All right. Yeah, they do build streams. Okay, yeah, we already read that. Michael, this is really looking good. Thank you, Steve. I hope Michael does like it. Main Gear just randomly popped up in your YouTube, in my YouTube feed. Nice. It's because we were talking about it. We were just talking about them. That's how AI works in the marketing industry. This friend calls and says, "Steve, is it okay if I only have 8 screws holding in the motherboard?" I said, "Yeah, it's not going to fall out." And then I said, "You would not believe how many people put there." Yes. Put their motherboard in with only 2 or 3 screws. Yeah, so these screws are actually doing more than just mounting the board. They are grounding points as well, or in some cases. So they are important to have all of them in the right places and all the screws in, all in the right spots. And you definitely don't want any studs in the back of the motherboard in the wrong spot. But I mean, if I'm building a system for a customer, I'm definitely going to make sure, you know, all my I's are dotted and all my T's are crossed. My T's are crossed and my I's are dotted. And, or my I's are crossed and my I's are dotted. My I's are crossed and my T's are dotted. Whichever one you would prefer. But anyway, I always make sure everything is done and done properly. I'm not going to make a shortcut and say, one missing screw, no big deal. I have to complete it to its fullest, correctly. That is part of what Michael is paying me to do. He's trusting me to do that right. So, it is my job to make sure I do that. Now, if it was my personal system and that happened, I probably would have said, screw you, you are not having a screw there. One, two, three. I'll do that. Do. Right. Oh. All right, so now we got to route some of these cables to the front and drop a card in there, put the power supply in, and fire this thing up. Jeez. Not much more for me to do here. Assuming. There's our fan option there. Do. USB-C. Yes. Alright, now we got our cables all routed in our correct directions. We're going to get everything plugged in. Makes me wonder how many more companies are doing the same thing, just have not been caught yet. Yeah, I don't know. Do all black build. Yeah, Jesse, those things are... Dude, there's a really cool looking Asus ProArt case out there. Yep. I know exactly which one you're looking at. It's like... It's a premium. It's like 250 bucks, but... Hey, Kenneth, welcome back to the Build Show. Nobody's doing it on your level, Ben. You're the truth. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, and I have a lot of trust and a lot of reputation, so... And I do it live, so you can see my reputation live. But, I mean, it's... Locally, there's just nobody else doing it other than maybe Micro Center. Micro Center might be the closest thing. There's a couple other really good builders locally here, but, I mean, they don't do it at this level. They enjoy, you know, deal hunting and doing PC flips, that type of thing. You know, and every now and then they'll do custom builds, and they're good, and I know them. You know, maybe those are the people I go hire when we get big enough, right? Because they enjoy it. Motherboard with only 2 or 3 screws. Yeah, we talked about that. My friend, I'm just trying to catch up in the chat here. My friend was building his own computer, and I think he made a boo-boo. Oh no. What happened, Steve? Was it the screws? Watching all these builds is getting me even more excited for mine. Well, Booger Chew, are you waiting for a build from me? What's your first name? I can tell you where we are. How do you make sure it gets to the end destination safe with packaging foam? So, typically, Venomous Toad, if it's a large enough graphics card, so pretty much almost any graphics card actually, I'll uninstall the graphics card and then provide instructions on how to install, and of course support if they need it. For installation of the card when they get it. But yes, the card is shipped bubble wrapped inside the case with additional packaging inside, whether it's packing foam or expandable foam, etc. But I don't like shipping the card installed. There's too many times that they've been damaged, even with expanding foam, etc. It just happens, and it's unfortunate. But I've had too many times where it's damaged the card or damaged the motherboard. So I ship the card uninstalled. That's the way I can guarantee the system is going to show up in one piece and the PCIe slot's not going to be damaged. Then, outside of that, it goes in the standard case box with the standard styrofoam. If the styrofoam is not big enough, then I do some additional foam inside the box to help support it. And then that box with all of its items, with the computer and the accessories for the PC itself, goes from the case box to another external box with more packaging foam around it. So it's double boxed with double foam. So it kind of gives that, if it was dropped, it has 2 layers of foam to break through to soak up the impact. Now, what I can't control is somebody taking like a steel rod and stabbing the box. There's nothing I could do about that other than putting it in a crate. The crates, like minimum, are like $700 for the size for something like this. If you put this in a crate and try to ship it, it's going to be like 600 bucks, 600, 700 bucks for a crate. Maybe not that much, but for this. But I mean, if you think about it, truck's got to come here, load it, and then every time it transfers to a new truck, it takes a forklift on a crate on a pallet to move it. That's how they move the crates. So, lots of work, which means lots more money, and it's a high value item, so that's the insurance is going to be stupid, and the insurance on a crate item is stupid expensive. Man. Why did you have to go away? Oh no, we went that way. That's right. We changed the directions. Voila. Alright. Need a PCIe connection for that. And then the 24 pin. Looking good. Watching you while carrying the martyrs. Nice. Welcome back to the Build Show, Geesh. What's the 8-pin aside the 24-pin? So that is a PCIe connection, which I believe is supposed to provide additional power to PCIe slots in the system. I'd have to double verify that, but I believe that's what it's supposed to do, so that it's not all being drawn directly through the motherboard 24-pin. It's additional power for additional power on the slots. No, it's not. It's actually been a thing that's been on motherboards, high-end motherboards, for a while now. I think since... Jeez. Help me out, guys. When did that become a thing? It's really only seen on higher end boards, and this is pretty much best of the best AM5 board you can get in the Asus lineup. So unless you go with the liquid cooled VRM one, but Steve. All right, Steve, hold on. Steve, as long as the case shows up tomorrow, because that's one thing that's been a pain in the butt. I don't know why these Montech 903 Maxes have been getting damaged on the way here, as we saw last night. I didn't notice it because there was a little dent in the box, but when I pulled it out, it looked right. And then after I did the build, finished it, I looked over the top of it, and then I noticed a little bit of a indent on the top, which I was able to push out. But your case showed up damaged, so I ended up reordering the case, and it's supposed to be here tomorrow. But as long as it shows up tomorrow, your build will be tomorrow, Steve, along with another one. So we're going to be doing two almost very similar builds. Well, not really, but kind of. But we're going to be doing two builds tomorrow. And I keep saying that every day, and then we start late, and then it's like, But we're going to try to get early start, and if your case is not here, I have to run to Micro Center and pick it up. So, either way, I'll have a case here for you tomorrow, and we'll do yours tomorrow. But everything else is here. Right? That, Steve? Let me double check. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Steve, you are on Saturday. Booger Shoe 42, Saturday is your build stream. Whoops. So not tomorrow. Saturday is your build stream. And then we'll actually be caught up to where we should be. Yeah. Sorry. I looked at the wrong build. Your case is actually here already, Steve. Booger Shoe. So your build has everything I need for it. It's just I have two builds in front that were ordered before yours that I need to get to before I start yours. Just had a little bit of a mix up there in my head, sorry. So yeah, Saturday we'll be doing yours. Cool. All right. I'm looking forward to doing it. We just got to get through this one, and then we've got two to do tomorrow, and then we got Steve's and George. Steve and George on Saturday. So, here we go. I can't remember what I was doing just now. What was I doing? Oh yeah, we're gonna do we can put the graphics card in. Let's just put the graphics card in, then we'll drop the power supply and route all the cables. We'll do that. Michael, we're almost there. This is the RTX 4080 Super Pro Art. It's a super slick looking card. Left all the peels on here just so we could do them together. I wanted you to feel the pain. One thing I didn't think of here is before we do that, there is a GPU mount here. I always forget how to install this stupid thing. I almost want to say screw this and use the Lian Li one. We're going to use the Lian Li bracket. This will provide a little bit of support on the back end of the graphics card so it doesn't sag. So I'm going to put this in there real quick. Don't know why I always forget to do these earlier into the build. But I always seem to forget. Pro Art cards are clean. Wow, didn't know that. Yeah, they're super clean. Super clean cards. For Rizzle. Alright, so this bracket is super cool because it's super discreet, which is why I love them. Very, very discreet cards. Or brackets. What am I talking about? Cards or brackets? I don't even know. But, highly recommend them and they fit in literally any case, so. You have the Pro Art 4070 Ti? Yeah, they're super clean cards. Does the sag happen in the back of the card rather than the front? Yes, the sag will happen from about here back. So from about here to the back of the card, that's where it will start sagging, because all your support's right here on the bracket and on the PCIe slot right here. And then there's no support back here. No support. So this little bracket that you can get, they're like 12 bucks at Micro Center. I think they're like $20, $25 on Amazon. I don't know why they're double the price on Amazon, but they are. Kind of stupid expensive on Amazon. But you can get them. They're super discreet. They install just like you saw. They're discreet and they hold the weight of the card very nicely. So then there's no way this card's gonna sag at all. And even in transport, it helps a lot because it can't go anywhere. There's even a top piece to it if you wanted to add the top bracket, and that'll hold the card from going back or forth, or up or down. Okay, so now that that's done, we can run our power cable, which I'm concerned about our length. Just enough length with that GPU cable. That PCIe 5.0 cable is just long enough for this case. Just does it. Nice choice on the RTX 4080. Yeah, it was a good choice. I may have helped convince him to get that one. It was also due to availability at the time. We're very limited on what RTX 4080s we could actually get. Here we go. Cable management looks pretty clean. Oh. Just confirm. Everything looks good on this side. Good as it's gonna get. It's about as good as it's gonna get. Nice and clean. All right, let's clean up some of this hardware and then we'll fire this bad boy up. We'll get you all out of here for the night. This is going to be a big upgrade, Michael. Oh yeah, from the 2080 Ti, huge. My keyboard was dying. I needed to go plug it into Type C. Nice. Hey, what's up, Bazooka Bulldozers? Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Oh, I missed some stuff over here on the Twitch side. A new question from Onra. Does that 600 watt cable have the same end on both sides? Yes, it's the same exact end on both sides, so there is no PSU end or no GPU end. It is the same. Some of them do, but this one doesn't. They're exactly the same. This is the way. Good evening, Army Vet. Welcome back to the Build Show. Some giant idiot. Welcome back to the Build Show. Giant idiot, you missed a bot earlier. You would have had fun using your format hammer. The powers that have been given to thou. I don't know if you were in here or not. I just know you like using it. I'll bring over a 12-watt high-power cable, and I'll show you both ends up close on the camera so you guys can see it real quick, just to answer that question. So this is a 600 watt 12 volt high power cable. Probably better if I just zoomed in on it with my hands. But they are exactly the same. I don't know if it's going to focus. Maybe not focus. I don't know. Maybe I'm too close to it, but they're exactly the same. Same pinouts. Same keys. Same shape. They're exactly the same. Me wrong? Some giant idiot. I'm afraid both ends are the same. You're nursing a bad cold? Oh, no worries, man. I hope you get better. You and me both. Oh, the Corsair ones I've been playing with have a regular 8 pins. Yes. So that is not going to deliver a full 600 watts if it's only 2 8 pins, by the way. So that's going to deliver maybe half the power. So I would not do Corsair with the 2 PCIEs 8 pins to the single 16 pin 12 volt high power. You're honoring your name. Jeez. I think it's like 450. Yeah, it's not the full 600 watts, but it's like half-ish, more than half. But yeah, here's a nice close-up of the tail end of the Pro Art. All right, we've got this pretty much cleaned up here, so we're ready to go. Oh, get rid of some of these tools. All these stupid tools. I have too many tools. Oh. Cable management on this thing is so nice. The case makes cable management such a breeze. I forgot to mention this rear fan, the Noctua fan. It's a 2000 RPM, or is it a 3000? It's either a 3000 or a 2000 RPM fan. So we can have some major airflow coming out of the back of this for the exhaust. And I chose that specifically because of the CPU and where that's at. Hey, Coral Reef, thanks for the sub over there on YouTube, by the way. Appreciate you. All right, Michael, it is time. PSU top mounts used to be all the rage back in the 2005, 2010 days. Yeah, I know. The older PCs had the power supply on top. Yeah, some of my first, I mean, obviously my first ones, but some of my later ones too, all had top mounted power supplies. Coral Reef, first PC I've seen with a PSU on top. That's so weird to see. Well, this is a very specific case. It's designed for airflow. So specifically, the airflow is all coming in from the front and the bottom. That's all our intake. The power supply is positioned there so that it can actually help with exhaust. But I also have the rear fan here, and it's an airflow design. So it's specifically made for airflow. Michael, are you ready for me to push this button? You tell me to push that button. Tell me when to fire this thing up. It's your call, Michael. It's your rig. I need to order that GPU support bracket from AliExpress is the best one. Yeah, though, that's the Leon Lee something or other. Shit. Let's freaking do it. Push it. We pushed it. It's got, by the way, it does have a nice little subtle RGB bar at the top. Kind of blends well with the Asus ROG Strix board in the background. Yeah. I feel like the memory training is going to be a while with the 96 gigs. But the GB002 is the one I just used for the graphics card support bracket. Look at that airflow coming out of the backside of that thing. If it's a hot summer day, and if you're not running anything on your CPU, you can put your legs back there and cool it off, or flip your PC around and spread them out. You know what I'm saying? Still waiting on that post. We have a 1.5 on the board. 96 gigs of RAM is so weird. It is, because 128 doesn't really work that well with DDR5. So, the workaround is do 48 and 48. DDR5 thing. This is perfect. You are the man. Well, I'm not the man yet until it posts, so we're still waiting on that. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Come on. Do something. No, it's the memory training is going to take a while. We do have one CPU fan not doing anything. And I don't know why. Weird. Still hasn't posted yet. I gotta go look this one up. Okay. So the light on the motherboard says it's on the memory stage of the post. Code 15 through 18 on the motherboard says it is a pre-memory system agent initialization is started. So that is the memory training. So it's still, this whole time, doing memory training. 96 gigs. Oh, we're cycling. We just cycled. We're cycling. Oh, CPU. A 4F. I think the F means FU. We got a white. A GPU light. 98. 99. Code 99 is usually good. And there's a post. We got the post. We just had to let it do its memory training. I just wanted to go double check that's what that code 15 meant, because I don't remember seeing that ever before. Sit there that long. You don't have to do the memory training every time, though. Thankfully, it remembers the memory training, Michael, in the BIOS. So there was absolutely nothing wrong. We were just impatient. We just had to wait for the post. Wait for the memory training to finish. Why is it so dark? Because there's no lights. There's some light. There's no RGB lights in the system. We got the post. Yes, it's because of the 96 gigabytes of RAM. All good now. I did turn it off and turn it back on, and I probably shouldn't have done that. That made it take longer because I had to restart the memory training. Nope, don't need to reseat anything. I just went up, all I did was go over to my PC, look up the motherboard manual, and confirm that the light it was stuck on was RAM, which it was, and then confirmed that code 15 in the manual, because there's a little code indicator right here. It was stuck on code 15. Code 15 just means it was doing the memory training. Let's go again. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, now we can get into the BIOS. Let's see what the temps are. The stock. Right now, the fan. I think I have to change the CPU fans over to one header, because I also looked on the motherboard manual there, and I realized I may have put the CPU fans on the CPU option, not CPU fan. So I gotta just move that over one header, which will be not too bad. We're on the way into the BIOS. Okay, so our BIOS, currently our CPU temperature is 33 Celsius at 1.199 volt. The RAM is currently sitting at 4800 megahertz. That's because we didn't enable XMP or AMD Expo. At 98,304 megabytes. 98,304 megabytes. Which is 96 gigs. Cool. Well, there she is in all her glory. The torrent. I'm not a big RGB fan. Like it dark. I mean, it's got a nice little accent of RGB in there you can play with if you want. Oh, you're welcome, sir. So, all we got to do is get Windows installed, do the BIOS update, get drivers installed, and then run it through some major benchmarks. Especially with the 96 gigs of RAM, that's going to take a while to fill that sucker up. Screens on the motherboard is insane. Well, it's not only just the screen, Onra. It's the the features on the board as well. There are a ton of features, including a ton of USB options on the back of it. So you've got a ton of options there. Love the ProArt brand. Yes. One day, guys, we will do a ProArt, a complete ProArt build. One day. I'll talk somebody into it. Or I'll do my own build in it or something. You could probably put the Batman symbol on that screen back there. No joke, Michael. That'll all be through the Asus Armory Crate. PC is cooked. Send it to me for disposal. I missed that. Some giant idiot. You guys are funny. Post error codes. LOL. They weren't error codes. They're just post codes. You guys getting all anxious about waiting for that memory training. All ProArt build would be pretty cool. Yeah, ProArt motherboard, ProArt GPU, and a ProArt case, and a ProArt... I think they make ProArt coolers now, too. And ProArt fans. Those would all be pretty cool looking. Maybe some gold extension cables in there. Gonna go with the gold ProArt theme. Where's Tat? Oh, he's here. Sorry, Ben. Oh, no worries, man. No worries. Yeah, you made it for the end. No worries. No worries, man. I see you. I see you there. Welcome back to the build show, sir. Hey, Geesh. Hit a 700 meter snipe. Jeez. I'm telling you, the M24 is king. He's talking about PUBG over there on Twitch. But, alright, guys. Michael, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'm sorry it went so late. But we're done for the night. We're going to move on to the next build stream tomorrow. Again, we're going to try to tackle 2 builds tomorrow, and then 2 builds on Saturday. And then we'll be 100% caught back up where we need to be, and we can start working on fun things like, for example, the Intel Arc B580 build that we've been talking about doing forever. I have it all over here, ready to go. We just haven't had the time to do it. You could change that? Yes, sir, you can. Yes, sir, you can. My next build, I already have the ProArt 4070 Ti. Nice. Looking forward to the next one. Thanks, Geish. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one tomorrow night. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Good night, guys. Good night, guys.